Ohayo gozaimasu! I don't actually speak any Japanese, but I am going to check out a Japanese band called LOVEBITES. Because one of you LOVEBITers kindly asked me to. Wait, LOVEBITES? LOVEBITers? I don't actually know what the fan base is called. LOVEBITE lovers? Anyway, I was asked to check out a live performance of the song Judgment Day. So I did a quick Google search to make sure that the LOVEBITES don't play in a genre that I don't usually enjoy very much, which they don't, and here we are. Before we begin, I should warn you that, historically, I pause quite a bit in these videos. If you are averse to me doing that, I'm sorry. Enough yapping. Judgment Day awaits. Ooh, it's a long song. Okay. Of course it starts that way. Sorry, before it explodes, I love the aesthetics. This is like at night at some Greek ceremonial, ancient Greek ceremonial site where they play heavy metal to appease the gods or something. Also bring forth Judgment Day. Oh, the showmanship. I can already tell. She starts with tapping too. Is that English? Okay. Okay, before I fill my brain with too many things to remember, first, the obvious thing, which I already kind of mentioned, that stage is beautiful. Like the lady in the middle, the singer, that one kind of looks to me like a Greek goddess, that kind of clothing. And I'll probably pull up some pictures and just show you in the editing. Now, the music is very busy, perhaps as would be expected from a heavy metal band. And there's a lot going on, and the drummer, now I don't know much about music. I'm a layman, right? Don't expect me to give you some professional or whatever. I don't know that much, but that's a lot of symbols. There's so many things going on there. I really like how they begin with this, like that constant sound, but then they also have the tapping. Which is slower, but also cuts through the chugging. I think that's what they call chugging. It's really good for setting up atmosphere, setting up the tone of the song, at least in my head. Here they go into it. Such a fantastic intro. I also appreciate how, now that they've picked up, the lead singer just got her hand up through that whole bit until she starts her singing. It just adds to the vibe. I love showmanship. It's also cool how they have that, I'm gonna call it backing vocal. I'm not sure if any of them is doing it. And frankly, I'm not sure if it's not just in my head, but I hear that kind of thing, which I'm not doing very well. But it's Like that and the Breaking Glass, I think, are like side additions that, you know, they're not doing them, at least doesn't seem like it, that really add to the whole vibe, the feeling of the song. But let's see if you can hear it. Here. Now I pulled up the lyrics, which is something that I do often. They sing in English. I was right. Now, real quick, what I normally do is I listen to the music and then I go over the lyrics and then I try to build up some story in my head and then I pay attention to how what I'm hearing and what they're saying builds up to that story. That's usually what I do. And it's sometimes very flawed because I take it bit by bit and sometimes I'm just very wrong about what's being sung. But this one seems a bit more storytelling, so hopefully I won't be too far off. And I'll try to keep it short because it's a long song. As expected, the first verse just paints the picture of what the song is about, which is Judgment Day. Except Judgment Day here is an event, kind of, more so than a day, because they say every night. But if it's Judgment Day, there's only one night, right? It wouldn't be every night. And it must be some massive event because of what they're saying. Never lived, never died. That's referring to the people who are trying to survive that Judgment Day. They don't really get a life because they have to struggle to survive. And they haven't died because whatever Judgment Day is hasn't caught up to them. Never end means that it just keeps happening, right? No way to go also means that they cannot escape it. If this was storytelling, this just sets the scene. Every night, everywhere, everything means that it's constantly happening, presumably always at night because arriving in darkness, right? So when night falls, ironically, it's Judgment Day. And then what's wrong, what's sin, it doesn't matter because who's to the sides? The more powerful ones, right? That's very interesting. I'm not sure if it's meant as social commentary, but it is interesting as social commentary. And they're also setting up whatever is doing the Judgment Day-ing, whatever Judgment Day-ing is evil. Then you go into pre-chorus, which means they'll set us up for the chorus. There's no chorus, what? Welcome to Japan, I guess. He's doing things. Before she stops there, she was getting ready for something. I would like to hear those whole 2 minutes again, together uninterrupted before I say what's on my mind. How could that part? You don't have to listen to it again. Alright, I listened to it a bunch more times actually, and what I heard was pretty much this. I'm gonna use the words that are used here, even though pre-chorus implies that there's chorus after that, but there wasn't. But I understand why they dubbed it that way. So the first part where she sings, of course they started with the intro I loved, which was very good. And then they did this, where they have a bunch of lines that go quickly, and it sounds very frantic. They've built it very nicely to go with what they're singing, which is something I always appreciate, because this is supposed to be someone who is constantly on the run, or the speaker of the song, or not even the speaker, the person or the people who are suffering the Judgment Day, I guess, whatever that event is. They're constantly hiding, constantly on the run. They try to save their lives. It's very frantic existence when darkness falls. You know, just running around and trying to save yourself and figure out who's one of the bad guys and who isn't, which is something they touch on in the second verse. So this feels like galloping, and then they go to the pre-chorus, and even you can even visually see it. This is just a bunch of very short lines, one after the other, and then the pre-choruses are a bit longer. So this is where they kind of slow down in the pacing of the song, and then they pick back up again. So it's like this, up, down, and now with the chorus, I expect them to go like very high. I expect it to pick up even harder, because generally speaking, you don't want to keep doing at the same speed, because then the people's brains get used to that and they start to zone out whatever they're hearing. As far as the lyrics, pretty self-explanatory. Who's ally, who's against would mean enemy, I assume. Presumably this sounds better in the singing. Who chooses who's an ally and who's not, and then they say It's you. Up, down, in, out, left, right, that's just choices. And then you find your answers. Second pre-chorus, also pretty self-explanatory. The only thing is when they say, when the rain comes to end, what's waiting for us? I assume that means once this whole insanity, as they dub it, is over, then what's going to be left? And then they promise answers. So let's hear them. I'll start a bit before so we can hear them go into the chorus. Oh. Okay. Okay, that peaked. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright, so what happened? The chorus went up, but not with the instrumentals. At least to my untrained ear, the singer went up. She was going at it. But the instrumentals were kind of the same. So I was thinking, okay, it's the same vibe, but they're still increasing it in their own way. And then they went to the pre-chorus, which I don't know what that's, no, post-chorus. That makes more sense. I didn't read it right, my bad. Which had some interesting bits. It didn't sound like the rest. And I'm not sure if it's just the kind of music that I listen to, but I expected them to change it up kind of like they did in the post-chorus, but a bit earlier. Let's hear them again side by side. Alright, quick snippet. This is the pre-chorus. And then we go into the chorus. Now, of course, the singer is pouring her heart out. The instruments sound kind of the same, in terms of the level that they're playing at and the pacing. Yeah, and that they did change it up after that in the post-chorus, and the guitar solo, and see, this website says guitar solo. That's a lie. We had like 5 guitar solos, and I love that. So we had one guitarist just doing solo, and then the other one did a solo, and then the first one did again, and then the second one did again, and then they did it together. And they matched them together with the notes that they were playing very well. Now again, I'm not a musician, maybe I'm just easily impressed, but that was impressive to me. The guitar solos almost seemed like they were fighting each other, which is also on brand with what they're singing about, which is, conflict. Speaking of what they're singing about, the lyrics, there aren't really that many words in here. I don't know why they have arise and life, and I don't know what foreverness means exactly. Given the foreverness, that's like infinity, like something that keeps happening, so like forever. The quality of stretching into forever, I assume that's what they mean. And funny thing, if you Google this word, the only thing that shows up is the lyrics to the song. So, but of course, they don't need to use proper words I think in art, and not even just in art, if you say something and people understand what you're saying, that's a word now. That's how I do it, at least. So if rising is tied to this is Judgment Day, maybe they mean when you rise, you join the Judgment Day, as in you're disposing judgment. Kind of sounds like a purge a little bit, actually. And life is your life outside of the Judgment Day. So given what they sing in the post-chorus, maybe this just means, given that this Judgment Day is perpetual, you can just leave your life and then join the Judgment Day, join the purge, whatever it is, and leave your name in history. Because see, tragedy in the past finds salvation, meaning you get into that thing and then it doesn't matter who you were before that. I'm trying to think if there's good movie analogies that use this concept, because I have definitely encountered that before. I suppose it's kind of akin to getting pardoned from a crime you have committed by joining the army, when, in medieval times, the nobles and lords and kings and whatever, they need to raise an army, so they just get a bunch of convicts. They forgive their past misdeeds if they fight for the, king, noble, whatever. And with the next line, of course, if you have what it takes, the path is in front of you to find salvation. Starting here, this is the day, meaning this is where you start your new story, your new life. And then they do the battle. That was so cool. Now, the rest of the lyrics are repeats until the outro, which technically still a repeat, but they haven't sung it like this. But I do wonder if they will do something to change it up, especially with the repeated lyrics. If they'll just do the same thing, or they'll have the same lyrics, but they'll change something up. That was pretty much the same, but I'll say I do like, for some reason, I really enjoy the glass breaking. And they had this bit where I think it was the bass player walking down the steps, and the transition there into whatever they were going into sounded very smooth and nice. I like that one as well. He's going all out though. Post-chorus always gets me. Wow, that was a good outro. When she started singing the Judgment Days 4 times in a row, she went up. I was like, yes, please. The last one was fantastic. Just when I was about to breathe out, I couldn't. They kept playing. That was nice. That was a good finish. I liked it. Let me just test a few more seconds here. I want to see if they do anything. Seems like it's over. Is that the same song? That's the beginning. Oh. If they did what I think they did, I love it. Namely, the way that I see this song, in the heart of what they're talking about is, now of course it's the conflict that they're expressing, but also the never-ending constant presence of it. This is not a one-off event, even though the song is called Judgment Day, which implies one day. I get the feeling that they're singing about something that's a status quo. And what I really like is they finished the song, literally they stopped all instruments and then they started again with the intro, the music, which kind of implies, it like reinforces that concept of, yeah, we finished, but this thing never finishes. It starts again. I love that kind of things. And in that same vein, I was going to mention something that, I already talked about it, how they kind of keep most of the song with the same feeling, and there's probably better musical words to use, but I don't know them. Musically, the separate chunks kind of sounded very similar to each other. And I'm wondering if they wanted to keep up that same pace, because the pacing is, as I said, it's kind of frantic. And then on the pre-choruses, there's a slowdown, and there's increase on the chorus with the vocals, and the post-chorus is just it's a different beast. So point being, it's a very good pacing for what I'm imagining they're going with. So I'm curious if they arrange their music like that always, or if they did it specifically for this song, specifically so they can portray that feeling, to evoke that feeling. I would be curious to find out with more of the music. Ha! Look at that. If we assume this is a story, we could also look at the post-chorus as the moment when the person that we're following, assuming storytelling again, you're just usually following a character. If we assume that at this point, that person has suffered through the Judgment Day up to this point, right? Tragedy in the past, find salvation, whatever they see as salvation. Then the point where they repeat it, first it's a repeat, which again goes back to the perpetual nature of this conflict. That, again, I might be off on that, but that's the feeling that I get. Now, from here on, after the guitar solos, that person that we're following is part of the Judgment Day, like the crusade, whatever it is, the purge. Whereas before that, they were the people who were hiding. Now they're the person who is chasing. The kind of person that you need to hide from. And it kind of, they sing the same thing, but from a different point of view, kind of. Like first you see the people who are like running away, right? And you're focusing on them. And then the second part, you're focusing on the people who are chasing, because the point of view has shifted. Interesting. And I could, of course, try and view this whole thing as metaphors and try to apply it to the world that we live in to see if there's any hidden messages, different interpretations. But something tells me this video is already way too long. So to summarize, it was good. I liked it. But it also does feel like a to be continued kind of watch, this specifically, because now I'm wondering if they do the same kind of arrangements in their other songs or not. But I suppose that's for another video. What do we say now? Have I been bitten? Is that what you say when somebody discovers this band? So I've been warned, I've been bitten. What's next? Do I get buried? Is there a band called the Morticianers? It probably is. Alright, y'all. Take care. Have a good one.